Magic fans, I'm Beef, and welcome to a special introduction style video where I tell you all a little bit about myself, my history with Magic, why I'm doing this, and what I would like to achieve in the future and where I want to go with this channel. So, as I said at the start, and as I say at the start of all my videos, I'm Beef. And one of the questions I always get asked by people is, why am I called Beef? Beef is a nickname I have in the real world. It is nothing related to Magic. And essentially, I got it when I was in what we call year 7. So that is at age 11. So I think that's equivalent of 6th grade in America. I was playing rugby at school, and another kid went, "You're big, I'm going to call you Beefy." And it stuck. I have an incredibly common first name, real name. I think I was one of 6 kids in that even in my year with that name, so having a different name to differentiate me from everyone else really made me stand out at school. All my friends from school call me Beef. All their partners, wives, parents call me Beef. So it is essentially, depending on who I'm with, my name more than my real name. And speaking of secondary school, that was when I started playing Magic the Gathering. So I started secondary school in 1996 when I was 11, late 96 from September onwards. So it would have been then going into 1997. Other kids were playing it at school and I just got into it. I loved it. Back then, you know, we had no concept of standard or any other format. I'm not even sure if it was called standard then. Back then it may have still been type 1 and type 2. We knew the rules, 60 cards. We got the cards and we played them. You know, we had our decks wrapped up in elastic bands, and maybe some of the kids had their cards collection in those, you know, plastic wallets in binders, and you know, play whenever we could at lunchtime and break times, and doing trades with other kids at school. You know, what have you got? Can I have your so and so? I'll give you a $5 for it. I'll swap it for you. And that's how I got into it. But I don't think I really played it for that long. And actually, except for one time when I was at my brother's house, probably about 15 years ago, and realised one of his friends had a couple of decks, and I tried to teach my brother how to play. That was actually the last time I've ever played paper Magic. You know, almost 30 years ago, and didn't play it for that long because I can't remember exactly when. Got a bit older, still at school. Kind of just stopped playing. Then I wanted to buy something. I can't remember what it was. So I was like, I'm going to sell my collection on eBay. Sold it for, I think, about £100, so about $130 back then. And I can't remember what cards I had. I can remember some. I definitely had, I think, a Plague Rats. I definitely had a Sengir Vampire, which to this day is still my favourite art on a Magic card. The bald vampire facing to the side with bloodlines off the side of its face. I had a Nightmare, which was a 6-mana star flying horse or horror, and its power and toughness were equal to the number of swamps you control, which I think nowadays would still be an okay card. You wouldn't pay 6 mana for it. And then the other card I definitely remember having was Solkanar the Swamp King. Solkanar came back in the recent Dominaria set, but the original Solkanar was 5 mana 2 and then Grixis for a 5/5 with Swamp Walk, and then whenever anyone plays a black spell, you gain 1 life. And it was from Legends, so the first set that had legendary creatures. So again, not a terrible card by today's standard. 5 mana for a 5/5 and gain life when anyone plays a black spell is not bad. You know, not massively powerful, but you look at some of the creatures back in, you know, from the 90s, and it's a lot powerful from a lot of them. So there you go. Stopped playing Magic for quite a bit then. Then in the early 2000s, Magic Online came about, and I gave that a go. Can't remember exactly when, but the deck I played, which was like an enchantment-based deck, had Mirari's Wake, which I've said in a few of my videos is my favourite card ever. And that came out in 2002's Judgment, which was part of the Odyssey block. So it was definitely after 2002, but I think massively after. And yeah, just again, I think back then Extended existed, and I played Extended because I just mushed all these cards into my deck, and my deck was based around, was a very, very terrible in hindsight enchantment called Mobilization. It cost a 1 white and 2 generic, and it said all soldiers you control have vigilance. I'm not sure if vigilance was keyworded back then, so obviously it said, you know, attacking didn't cause an attack, and you could pay another 2 and 1 white to create a 1/1 soldier. So, you know, 6 mana to create a 1/1 with vigilance is not great. But then I built up essentially a ramp deck, so Birds of Paradise, Fertile Ground, which I don't think it's on Arena, but it's basically Utopia's Brawl, but for 2 mana. Mirari's Wake, and the idea was you would get down Mirari's Wake as soon as possible, which doesn't double your mana, but increases your mana from lands, and then just pump all your mana into mobilization, because Mirari's Wake buffs all your creatures. Now you're paying 3 for 2/2 vigilances, which was pretty powerful. And then I, you know, put in a few Enchantresses presence, Crush of Worms, and there were a few games I remember being able to play Crush of Worms and flashing it back, which I think Crush of Worms cost 8, flashing it back cost 12. Being able to do those in one turn, you know, you've got 6/6/6 worms. They're going to be bigger than 6/6 in Mirari's Wake. And other things like there was a card called Righteous Calls, which was whenever any creature attacks, you gain 1 life. So that, you know, that put a stop to. There was a Goblin aggro deck in the format at the time. You get that down, all their goblins are 1/1. There's no point attacking. And I kind of saw it as it essentially gives your opponent's creatures -1/-0 as well, because you're gaining back 1 life whenever they attack. And there was a Fervent Assault, I think, gave all your creatures +2/+2 when attacking and stuff like that. So a very enchantment-based deck, primarily white and green. And I had a great time playing that. But again, just kind of not fell out of love with it, but just stopped playing for probably close to 15 years. Gave Magic Arena a go when it first came out, I think, and again stopped playing. So missed, you know, a lot of those sets back then. And really, I think probably just before COVID, probably like a lot of people, started getting into it with the, you know, the proliferation of YouTube and content creators. Started watching people on YouTube like Hello Good Game, Covert Go Blue, Legend of VD, MTG Goldfish, especially Seth, people like that, and got into it, which kind of leads me to today. You know, why did I suddenly in April decide, you know, I'm going to create a YouTube channel? And the reality is, in my real life, I'm a project manager, which sounds exactly as exciting as it is. Been a contractor for a few years. Last contract ended end of October last year, and the job market's just fallen through the floor. I've actually literally been offered a job this week, which was really good, which is why I didn't do this video a bit earlier, because I wanted to get all that sorted and focus on that. But yeah, in April I was like, the job market's gone to pot. Let's do something I enjoy. I'm pretty good at it. Not necessarily the actual playing Magic part, I don't think sometimes, but I'm quite good at the commentary and the observational stuff, which I've had a few people tell me. So, and when I started it, I had a lot of friends ask me, you know, what's your aim? Are you doing it just for fun, or are you trying to make money from it? And the reality is both. You know, at the start, obviously, it's fun. Where I not been working, it's a way to keep my brain active, keep to a schedule, make sure I've got something to do every week and aim for every week. And yeah, if in the long run we meet those milestones to start earning, fantastic. It means that, you know, if I carry on being a contractor, you know, between contracts I maybe don't necessarily have to worry as much, because I've got a passive income coming from something I enjoy, and you know, even potentially going forward, maybe this becomes my full-time job if it really works out like that. But you know, we are a long way from there. You know, we are just over 500 subscribers, but a lot of those are from a promotion I did through YouTube, which has done better than I wide expected. I expected to gain like 10 to 15 subscribers, not over 400, but still need to increase engagement with watch hours and things like that to start hitting those milestones. And that kind of leads me on to what next for the channel. You know, I said I do start a new job in a few weeks, but I don't think that's going to make any difference to the channel. We've got Bloom Burrow coming out on Tuesday, which I'll talk about in a bit. But one of the key things is I want to get better as a Magic player, but I want to get better at YouTube as well, whether that's more engagement, you know, doing more regular shorts. I've created a account as well, making sure I post the videos on there, and even maybe TikTok, just so to try and reach a broader audience as possible. Get better at the sound and the editing. The intro and outro we currently have in the videos I created myself, and I think it shows. I want to get something professionally made, even maybe a new logo set up. I would love to start playing Paper Magic again, although none of my friends are really into Magic, so it might be hard to do. I did actually play 4-player Commander for the first time last Monday via a website called untapped.in. It took us 5 hours because it's a manual website, so you've got to do all the tap in manually. You've got to click on my deck to draw a card, and Magic has got a lot more complicated now. So one of the benefits of Arena is Arena automates it all. But having to go right in testing, I played a Sliver deck and had Sliver Queen down, not Sliver Queen, the first Sliver down, so all my Slivers had Cascade. So doing that manually on a computer's fun. I think me and my friends might find another profile to use, software system to use, and maybe I record some of those and put some of those on the channel as well. I just want to get better. I want to do more engagement with you guys as well. We've got a lot of new subscribers. I want to make them all feel welcome, give you all what you're looking for. I'm going to put a poll up. It would have gone up by the time I've released this video because we do have Bloom Burrow coming out on Tuesday, so I'm going to put a poll up to see if what kind of deck people want to see for Tuesday. So normally I release a video on Monday as well, but like I did with Modern Horizons 3, I'm not going to do one Monday video. I'm going to do that on Tuesday to do a video for the new set, and then Wednesday as always. And speaking of Bloom Burrow, I'm very excited about it. One of the reasons I'm excited is, I don't know if Wizards said specifically, but there was a book series that ran from the mid-80s up to the author's death in 2011 called Red Wall, and it's something that I read as a kid and I loved as a kid. And it is about anthropomorphic animals, and Bloom Burrow is a homage to that, even down to one of the cards is Mabel, heir to the Cragflame. So in the first book, Red Wall, the hero is a mouse called Matthew, I think, and part of the plot is he finds this legendary sword that belonged to a previous hero, Martin, maybe Matthias. He was the heir to Martin's sword, and that's like the big plot of him trying to find this sword, and then he defeats the bad guy with it. And then in later books, like his kid, I think his kid's called Matthew, he gets the sword. So even the M name being heir to this legendary sword, that's clearly a reference to it. So that's one of the reasons I'm really excited. But I'm also really excited, not just because of rotation. I feel rotation has got, standard has got stale. I think that is the view of a lot of people. You're seeing that, oh, it's mono red again, great. Oh, it's it's this kind of deck, it's that kind of deck. There's only a certain amount of cards you can play, and obviously with the last set of Modern Horizons 3 isn't relevant standard, and Outlaws of Thunder Junction was really good, but we've not had rotation in years. So I'm looking forward to that. But also, I don't know if it's the first set, but it's definitely the first set I can remember, or I can think of, where we're not going to have any humans or elves or goblins or zombies or merfolk. Or, I think there's 1 or 2 dragons in there. I think there's a bird dragon card. There might be a couple of zombies, but they are other creature zombies. So we're not going to be able to do usual tribal decks. So, if you've got a mono white humans deck, like, I have, stuff's going to rotate, but you're not going to have anything to put in there, and I think that's going to mix up standard a lot as well. I'm also really interested to see what legendaries there are to play in Brawl, because again, a lot of their legendaries rely on creature types like lizards and mice and rabbits and whatever, and there are some cards from older sets like mice. There's Raging Battle Mouse from Eldraine, and I think there's another mouse from a previous one. Rabbits, there's Regal Bunnicorn from a previous set as well. So we have some cards, but you don't have a huge amount of mice in Magic. So, if you want to play Mabel, which buffs all other mice in Brawl, you're not going to have a huge amount to choose from. So I'll be interested to see what legendaries there are to play with Brawl, because, I love playing Brawl. I try and do it at least once a week for the channel, and whether we'll be able to do proper Brawl decks with Bloom Burrow, we'll have to wait and see. So I might have to go through and do more obscure Brawl commanders like I did with Saint Elenda last week, which I really enjoyed. Where I was a pretty powerful, not massively powerful, but a fun deck to play. So really looking forward to Bloom Burrow on Tuesday, and I said there will be a poll up, hopefully by the time you've seen this video, to ask what kind of deck people want to see for the first one. I think I'm going to do the options of mice, rats, lizards and bats, which are some of the main archetypes. There are some other ones like rabbits as well, but they also fall into other ones. So that was a 15 or so minute intro to me. You know, welcome to all my subscribers and especially all the new ones. I wanna see how far I can go with the channel, and obviously to do that I need all your help. You know, I say we a lot. I say, oh, you know, we went 6-1 and you know, we've got to so many subscribers, because it is a team effort. You know, if you guys aren't watching, there's no point me doing this. And you know, I am pleased with what I've seen so far, but I think, you know, we can go as far as we can, and that's what I really want to see. So please comment on this video. You know, I did say if anyone had any questions beforehand, but I don't think anyone did. If you do have any questions for me, please leave me a comment and I will get back to you. You know, and on all my videos, please leave comments, you know, giving me tips and pointers. I'll always reply. Sometimes it might be yeah, I thought of that, but I didn't do it for whatever reason. Sometimes it might be, no, I didn't even think of that. You know, that's something I want to get better at, is not forgetting cards, especially in Brawl, where you've got every single card on Arena to pick from. Well, apart from the banned ones. So please, you know, do engage as much as you can, and I will engage as much as I can. So, you know, I really hope you've liked this. Oh, and something else I want to do in the future, but I can't quite do now, is do videos like this where I show my face. I'm not shy, it's just I live in a crummy flat at the moment. As you can probably see, this room here, that is my boiler. There is a fridge behind me. I've had to move out a load of boxes because it looks like a mess. I don't have the setup to be able to do it regularly, basically, but I am looking to move soon, and one of the things I'll be looking at a new place is a room where I will turn into an office, but it is suitable for me to record things like this and, you know, my face while doing gameplay. So that's something else I want to do. I hope you've enjoyed this. Obviously, if you do, and if you have, please remember to like and subscribe. I will never stop saying that, because it does really, really help the channel, and anything you can do will be really appreciated by me. And I'll see you all in the next video.